Oh, this has been a crazy 48 hours. I'm actually a couple days late for the video because I almost lost my computer. Microsoft actually sent malware to my computer with a Windows update. And for that reason, I have made an executive order that we are going to take over Google, Microsoft, and Apple. Um, because they're obviously working for Lauren McBride. Anyways, I've made a lot of executive orders as U.S. president the past week, and to check all my executive orders, go visit my website, and I go into detail how I almost lost my computer and I had to text my men on my phone, and we were able to figure out a way to get me back up. It was not easy. And actually, I'm the one who figured it out, though. Zach Knight gave me a lot of ideas. I would like to thank my supporter who mailed me, and he sent me some more money. Thank you. The one I read his letter last week. Let me go ahead and read what he wrote. Dear Gail, thank you so much for reading my last letter on air and responding to it. I agree that we all have certain God-given dreams and talents and should follow them to the best of our ability. A follow-up question I have to that point is how we know when it is in fact God putting a passion for something in our heart versus temptation or trickery by our adversary, the devil. The reason I ask is because I consider myself a Christian who tries, but often fails, to uphold biblical principles in daily life. At the same time, I also have a strong interest in the practice of hermetic magic, i.e., not stage magic, but the spiritual practices like alchemy, theurgy, etc. Contrary to popular belief, many magical practices, theurgy for instance, are not primarily focused on attaining power or worldly things, but about raising one's consciousness and experiencing spiritual growth by direct communion with spiritual entities. Many consider magic to be a way of growing closer to God in a very real way while still here in our physical form. At the same time, I'm aware of the strong prohibitions in the Bible against all magical practices. I guess my overall question is if my yearning to partake in magical practices is a trick of the devil, or if it is in fact a way to grow closer to God. I ask you because you're probably the person most versed in scripture that I listen to on a regular basis, and so I trust your advice. Again, feel free to read this letter on air for context. Thanks again for taking time out of your day to respond. Be well, my friend, Doctor. He's the one who's like a scientist and he's a professor and he studied STEM sciences. Okay, let me just tell you this. Probably the best answer I can give you is I'm going to put a link underneath this video of a web page that I've created where we decided to meet up with Satan to see if we could strike a deal with him to get him to behave himself. And in my opinion, when you're dealing with any of these, and also the spiritual, it sounds to me like these magical practices where you're trying to raise your consciousness and experience spiritual growth by direct communion with spiritual entities, you need to ask yourself, which entity are you communicating with? If it's Satan or any of his demons, which more than likely is who you're going to be communicating with, you're asking for trouble. So I would not recommend it. Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. Don't make the mistake I made. Just probably the best advice I can give you is Satan and his demons are very tricky, and they try to disguise themselves as angels of light. And if you don't watch it, you may have the best intentions in the world when you contact these deities because you want to You might say, well, why did you? I was kind of like half joking with my men, but they take me far. And thank you so much for the money. Yeah, I'm going to put that into my savings, and that'll help me do the Gail commandments. And Jesus will love. He loves it when I add money to my savings. So I'll add that to my savings, and it's going to help me to do the Gail commandments better. Satan's really been attacking my ability to do the Gail commandments. I've been showering with cool water because apparently the gas hot water heater for this apartment complex broke, and they haven't fixed it. And I've been without hot water since Thursday night, so it's been about 3 or 4 days now. And I'm still doing the Gail commandment to do showers. All I can say is I wouldn't recommend it, simply because I'm certain that the deities that you're communicating with, or these spiritual entities, are going to be either demons or Satan himself. Satan's very obsessed with me, but he can make deals with certain people, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg made a deal with Satan so she could live long. And she's in hell right now. Just go ahead. The best answer I can give you is go to the web page that I created. I actually created a web page that has an actual recording of our meetup with Satan, unedited. It also has an edited version. And you got to ask yourself, who are you meeting? I can just tell you from personal experience that Jesus has warned me to be very careful with brain-to-brain communications, this is just communicating with me and my men. And Satan has been using Laurie McBride to impersonate Brent Spiner to me. So I would say, communicating with these deities, you are going to be tricked. They're going to trick you. They're going to fool you into thinking they're good when they're evil. And then they will manipulate you, possibly even against your will. They might possess you. Yeah, you got to be careful. I would say, yeah, you got to be careful. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. If you're interested in getting closer to God, your best bet would be to follow my example and do the Gail commandments. That would make Jesus happy. Yeah, that would be it. And read my Bible for Tribulation Saints, so you can really understand what Jesus is like. And maybe follow my website, because I've been making a lot of posts there talking about my experiences with Jesus, how he's advised us. So get to know Jesus better. You might say, well, how can I... Jesus seems to want to hold me up as an example for the world to follow right now. That's why he makes it so obvious that I'm his favorite. I would not recommend it. You're in danger of becoming possessed. Yeah. If you keep on communicating with these beings, they might actually take over your body. You're in danger of becoming possessed, or at the worst, highly influenced. And I can guarantee you the demons are up to no good. All I can say is, to help you make your decision about whether it's safe to communicate with these spiritual entities, you say, how can you be so sure that they're not? You seem to think that you have mentioned that New Age, that Jesus thinks New Agers are cool. Well, let's just put it this way. It's possible that you could, as a New Ager, if this is like a New Age thing, you could be communicating with Jesus and not knowing it. But your safest bet is just to follow my example. Do the Gail commandments, read the Bible, read Bible for Tribulation Saints, which I believe is an addition to the biblical canon. It's the little book in Revelation 10, and read my website and just follow my example. That would make Jesus happy. He gets upset when people don't follow my example. I've noticed that. Like, there are a lot of well-meaning people that don't do the Gail commandments and don't follow my example. And one of the first things Jesus will say is like, he'll say like, so-and-so is a nice person, but they're off balance here. And I wish they would follow your example and do the Gail commandments, Gail. Like he said that about Alex Jones. Because I felt sorry for Alex when he got booted off all these platforms. And Jesus assured me that he's going to be fine. And he said, but I don't want you to follow him because he needs to follow the Gail commandments. Jesus isn't too pleased that he's selling all those supplements. It's a violation of the Gail commandments. Anyways, yeah, I've been making a lot of executive orders. I've been a very busy president. I'm trying to look out for my people. And thank you so much for that letter. And I just, I really had I almost lost my computer. It's a miracle. I'm a very smart woman. And I found this book. And it helped me figure out how to, I took a computer course over 10 years ago. And I had to drop out because my professor ended up being a Jesuit. And he made it impossible for me to pass. And I could tell, but I kept the textbook. And that textbook kind of helps me sometimes. Like if I need to install a memory chip in the computer, I go read it. And it actually helped me figure out the solution. We kind of brainstormed. Well, we didn't know what we were dealing with. We didn't know if it was malware or what. I'm the one who figured out it was malware. Yeah. No, Microsoft did I think Lori McBride is running Google, Microsoft, and Apple right now. You might say you're not going to mention Twitter and Facebook and some of the others. I'm a big believer in freedom. And my political positions are Constitution, Libertarian, and Green. But the Green part of me is kind of taken over right now because that was wrong for Microsoft to deliberately send malware to my computer. I wasn't able to start my computer. Anyways, I'm going to have a post underneath this video about the malware that they sent me and about our Satan visit and about another executive order that I've made in regard to the health of everybody in the world and Lori McBride's lies that are making people crazy. Yeah. And the news media needs to stop lying. They need to stop lying. We're going to really go after them now. So anyways, I just want to thank you so much for that letter. And I'm going to go ahead and finally, I'm running a little late. Like I said, it's a miracle, but I figured out how to get my computer back up. So I'm back in business. I didn't have to, I thought I was about to buy a new computer, but Jesus said, don't spend anything above food and bills without checking with your men first. And I thought, well, let me try calling Terrance Jenkins. I have his number. And I wasn't sure if he'd get it, but he got it. And he texted me. And I have a transcript of that text conversation where we tried to figure out how to get my computer back. And they actually gave up. They gave up. They said, if worst comes to worst, Gail, we'll just send you a new computer. But don't you go out and buy a new computer. Jesus doesn't want you to do that right now. He said, anyways, so I'm going to have a transcript underneath this video about how I solved. I figured out how to do it. It was kind of complicated. It was a pretty advanced malware that Microsoft sent to my computer. See, I couldn't act as president if I didn't have my computer, and they know, and Lori McBride knows it. So, yeah, I am the president. And Lori doesn't like that. She doesn't like that. And I've been busy, and I use my website as my platform. And Lori's trying to take, yeah, you got to check my website out. It's looking pretty impressive. Yeah, it's my platform. So I will have 3 links underneath this video. I'll talk about I made a page about my Satan visit. I made a page about 2 recent executive orders, one related to our takeover of Microsoft, Google, and Apple. You say, why did you decide those 3 companies? Because those are the 3 companies that manage the operating systems of just about every computer in the world, or at least in the Western world. And it's not good. that they're able to destroy computers like that of their enemies by sending malware. And so I feel like we need to control them. Plus, I've noticed other behavior in these three organizations that makes it pretty obvious. They work for Lori McBride. Anyways, check the 3 links underneath this video. She's making me cough. Dropping bombs still. And there'll be more information about my executive orders, takeover of those companies, laws that I've made to keep us all healthy financially. Goodness. That could be brain control too. Believe you me, Lori doesn't like me as president. I'm actually tougher than Trump. He was nicer to people like Lori McBride. I'm tough against these terrorists. Because I believe that if we don't deal with them, they will literally destroy planet Earth. Literally. I mean, we got a cum-star out there that just killed millions. And nobody's reporting on it except Gabriel Chana, Fox News, and me, and at my website. So go ahead and check out my website. I'll have 3 links underneath this video. And thank you so much for my Patreon supporters, and for every little bit helps. That's going to help me do the Gail Commandments. I'm trying to do all the Gail Commandments. Like, they're trying to attack my ability to do them all. Like, I'm supposed to make a YouTube video every week without a computer. Satan's trying to make it so I can't do that. He's made my shower cold so I don't obey the Gail Commandment for the bath. And then he's trying to get me to spend money, so I disobey the Gail Commandment about only spending money on food and bills. He's trying to, like, even to do my laundry and stuff, I've got to go to the laundromat now to get my quarters, because Walmart and Publix in my area quit selling quarters. So that, anything that's related to a Gail Commandment, I've noticed Satan and Lori McBride are really focused on trying to get me to disobey the Gail Commandments. So I told myself, okay, you just did some cooking, you just did your executive orders and stuff, and so I thought, yeah, let's go ahead, and I'm a couple days late, but since my computer's back up, I need to make my weekly YouTube video. So I have been really good about the bath in spite of the cold water. I'm still doing my daily walks. I'm saving money like Jesus says. I'm eating a balanced diet, but I'm telling you, every single Gail Commandment on there, Satan's been attacking me on. He's trying to get me to stop doing them. And he's trying very, very hard. And that's because my Gail shield is protecting the planet. Satan wants my Gail shield to fail, I believe, so he can literally blow up the planet. And I think he's got a replacement Earth out there hiding. And he's going to use Lori's cum-star to destroy Earth, and then all of his followers will be hiding out on that cum-star. They're going to go out into deep space, I believe, blow up the planet, and then come back and live on a replacement Earth. That's his goal. But what's stopping him is my Gail shield, because I'm doing the Gail Commandments. So he's trying to get me to disobey the Gail Commandments so that the Gail shield will weaken and he can carry out his mission. He already did destroy Earth. I'm serious. When he showed up, you need to check the links underneath this video. Satan is serious business, and we shouldn't be messing with him or any of his demons. We need to obey these Gail Commandments. All of us, not just me. I believe if you all do them, it will also strengthen my Gail shield and help protect the planet. Amen.